Hey, welcome back. You're watching a special New Year's edition of Liquid Lunch on Newsmax TV. I'm John Tobacco. We're coming today live, no, not from the Question Tequila Studios in our Liquid Lunch outpost in downtown Manhattan. We took the show on the road. We're down in Atlantic City, New Jersey, visiting the beautiful Garden State, but we're doing the one thing I love doing every single day. We're the only show on television. We bring on a Democrat and a Republican. I throw out the topics of the day. They mix it up. I mix myself up a drink, sit back and moderate. One rule is this: at the end we have thoughtful conversation, we shake hands, and we part friends. Today, to mix it up in the Garden State, we got two of the best of them. We got Councilman Jim Toto here from Summers Point, New Jersey, also Republican candidate for freeholder here in the Garden State. And Mike Suleiman joins us. He is the chairman of the Atlantic County Democratic Party. So you guys are totally on the opposite end of the spectrum. Here on Liquid Lunch, we try to talk to our audience, who I call the purple people, the people that are probably much like both of you guys. You know each other, you're combatants, but you're also comrades somewhere, because you know at the end of all days you're fighting for democracy. Maybe different types, but I feel like most people that are sane are somewhere in the middle. They're not all red or all blue. They're kind of like purple, different shades, and that's why we do this every day. Jim, you're a Republican in tough territory here in New Jersey. You're elected now, but you're seeking even higher office. You're heading up the Atlantic County Democratic Party, and it seems like there's one thing that you guys agree on, and that's Jeff Van Drew is not your candidate. Is that right?
Well, look, I think Jeff really showed his stripes. Clearly, he wanted to keep that $2 pin on his $2,000 suit. He decided to switch parties, and good for him. But look, I think Jim and some of his rank and file will have some issues explaining, a 92% voting record with Nancy Pelosi, but now he's a Republican, and he used that voting record to tell guys like me that we should support him regardless of his stance on impeachment. So he's going to have a tough time in a Republican primary. And
so I love when our Democrats and Republicans agree. So that's why I'm starting off with this topic. But you don't want him. You don't want to take him into the Republican Party either.
No, we welcome Jeff with open arms. Whether he was Democrat or Republican, he was still our congressman here in the district. Now, mind you, our district is 8 counties, 92 municipalities, and even when Jeff was with the Democrat Party, he was pretty middle of the road. He made intelligent decisions based on what the voters here in the district wanted. Jeff's a friend of mine. He's a brother of mine from one of the fraternal organizations. I supported David Richter. I still support David Richter. I respect Jeff and his decision, and I respect what he's doing for our veterans. He's got Chris Chin, who's actually his veterans advocate, that's there with him.
So he's doing some good things, even as a Democrat, and it's good to hear. Look, maybe not your cup of tea as a candidate. The fact that he is the elected official there, at least you got to respect the office, I guess, right? Going up to the governor level here in the Garden State, I've been taking your governor to task pretty heavily. Now, in light of these recent events, another church shooting, someone busts into a church down in Texas, and all of a sudden, Joe Biden, the leading Democratic candidate from your party, said it was ridiculous to allow people to be armed in church. But a trained former law enforcement gun range owner takes out his pistol, pops one right in the guy's skull, and only 2 people are dead. God bless them. But it could have been a lot worse. Why are they trying to even take magazines away from cops who are off duty here in New Jersey?
Well, look, I think our gun laws in New Jersey are some of the strictest in the nation, and the reason why you haven't had these mass shootings, in part, is because of those laws. I mean, look, we have to be smart with our gun control legislation. I think, when you have a party that is against background checks, against 50 caliber ammunition, just the simple basic, like, we get it stuff that most gun owners support, to me, it's just that's being out of touch with what Americans want. We need common sense gun control, but we need it smart and effective, and it's got to work. And a lot of it in other states ain't working.
So, do you support thoughtful, background checks?
I'm all for background checks, of course. But here's the problem: is that those who are committing these crimes, they're doing so most of the time are illegal.
Right.
They're not owning the gun properly. They're not going through the proper channels to own a weapon, to impede possession of a weapon. I'm all for the right to defend my rights and my family and those around me who I love. For what happened in that church, kudos to the gentleman who popped one off and stopped what could have been a mass shooting where 2 people got injured, and now that person is he was brought to task.
Yeah, I mean,
what's going on here in the state of New Jersey? It's how far are we going to go? Drugs are illegal. Drugs are illegal no matter where you go. And at this point right now, what is it accomplished? If you're going to do something illegal, it's illegal.
My issue with some of this gun legislation,
the legal gun owners. That's my problem.
My real issue is taking extra magazines away from off-duty law enforcement officers. So
ludicrous.
These guys are cops. They're trained and paid to protect society. The lawbreakers, they go out and get whatever magazines they want, but we want to really limit how many bullets an off-duty cop could carry with him? Is that good?
Well, I think one of the things I like that the Murphy administration here in New Jersey is doing is going after these gun manufacturers, because you're right, there is a problem with illegal guns on the market, and this idea that just simple gun buyback programs, that doesn't really work. You've got to look at these illegal guns, and that's what I think you got to hold these manufacturers accountable.
So let me ask you, on the impeachment front, we're in a little break right now, okay? Nancy Pelosi came to the table, called the vote. I know in my district in New York 11, Max Rose, our congressman, said he just got elected, first termer, Democrat. He said, hey, I'm not for impeachment. He wrote a big op-ed in our local paper how it's going to divide our country even more. And then a few weeks later, Nancy Pelosi put her foot on his throat and told him, if you want some DNCC money, you better be for impeachment. And he went against himself. He lied to his community. Now he voted for impeachment, right? But why does Nancy Pelosi think she's voted? She has the articles. Why does she think it's up to her to determine the rules of the Senate? How is that sane?
Well, look, it's just hypocritical for Republicans to say that the House impeachment proceedings were a sham, but yet we're going to have a sham with Mitch McConnell and the White House coordinating a Senate trial. So it seems hypocritical to say one's good, but the other one's bad. Look, Nancy Pelosi is trying to ensure that we have a fair Senate trial. It doesn't look like we're going to get one. So perhaps we shouldn't even send the articles to the Senate and just avoid the sham trial.
That sounds great. So basically, what they're alleging, the new talking point is, well, we gave you this in the House. That was a sham trial. Adam Schiff spoke to the whistleblower long before he was the whistleblower. The only witnesses that were allowed were ones that Adam Schiff approved of. The Republicans got turned down on all their witnesses. They held most of the hearings in silence underneath in the skiff before they brought people out into the lights. They made some crazy rules in the House. Why is it a sham now if the Republicans do the same?
Well, let's ask a few intelligent questions first. All right, has Congress handed this over to the Senate yet?
No.
So he's not impeached.
That's how I look at it.
Until it goes the normal route. Now they had an unfair proceeding in the beginning, and now they want to tip the balance to go the other way to where it's another unfair Senate inquiry. And what are they trying to prove? Look, we've got other issues to deal with. You might not agree with what the president's doing. You might not like him personally for what he says, but you want to know something? The country's on the right track.
Yep.
And all they're looking to do is just derail that. And I don't subscribe to that. It's not my thing. I'd rather focus on what's going on. There are veterans issues that I'd rather take care of. There are things that are going on in the military I'd rather take care of. There are homeless people. Look at San Francisco, for the love of God. People defecating in the street.
Right.
That's
Nancy Pelosi's hometown.
Let's take
right
care
there.
of stuff that's going on in this country. Let's take care of the working class people that are doing the things day in and day out. You were elected to go to Congress. Do your job.
Mike, the House folks and Gerald Nadler and Schiff and Pelosi, they knew from day one that they would never get the votes in the Senate. So whether you hand over the articles or you brought the articles, to me it's all been theater from the beginning. It's the theater of the absurd, and it's really, to me, Nancy Pelosi pandering to the squad to say she's going to do it.
Impeachment is not about removing the president from office. The only way to get rid of this guy is to vote him out of office. This is about holding the president accountable for what he did. When you're making $400 million in foreign aid and a White House visit contingent upon investigating a political rival, that's Noriega, that's Panama, that's South America, that's crazy nonsense that this guy's doing. And by the way, the president and the White House prevented 12 10 or 12 high-ranking officials, from Mick Mulvaney to Pompeo, from testifying.
Right.
Defy subpoena. So if you're going to throw shade on the Democrats,
completely within his realm, he's
well,
completely
you
allowable.
have a
It's been
subpoena
done
that's
by presidents far and wide. Eisenhower,
actually,
Jefferson shut down all their internal communications. Dwight Eisenhower, Thomas Jefferson.
Bill Clinton
used executive privilege to the max, way worse than what Trump is doing. And you
Bill
know,
Clinton complied with the impeachment.
I didn't think that the
Didn't Biden make a
Washington
deal?
walking
I'm
talking
you,
points
so
were
many
getting
hours.
all the way up here to Atlantic County, but you're hitting all the standards. But did he really go after? Did he really ask for an investigation into a political opponent, or did he ask him, hey? Did the former vice president and his son take bribes from one of the most criminal organizations on the face of the earth that the U.S. taxpayers spent millions and millions of dollars trying to track down? That's what he asked him, not his political opponent. I think Trump would welcome a head-to-head with Joe Biden. Why would you want to knock him out?
Well, he silenced everyone when he said release the transcripts, and he did. He released them, and it's right there in black and white what transpired in that phone conversation, and there was nothing there that even alluded to a quid pro quo.
And as you're mentioning the subpoenas, I don't know if you caught it this weekend, but Joe Biden was at the editorial board of the Des Moines Register, and they asked him if he gets called as a witness in the Senate trial, will he respect the subpoena and show up? And he said no. He said no. So why would Joe Biden, who doesn't get to assert any executive privilege or anything, why would he think he's above the law and he doesn't have to answer a subpoena to come to the Senate?
Well, he frankly walked that back a little bit, but I will say this.
But we
if
know
you look
it's usually the first instinct is the one you go with,
well,
right?
because this thing with Joe Biden's son has been debunked. It's a myth. This whole crowd strike thing with Ukraine's in the election has been debunked. Russia invaded our election. Putin has some Jedi mind trick on the president, and now you have these wacky conspiracy theories.
I know you're in tune with this stuff.
Absolutely.
Who was all these investigations started in like 15, 16, and there. Who was the president then? Who was controlling our law enforcement apparatus domestically and internationally? Barack Obama. So how come he didn't take action? Not only did he not take action, he actually had his people or allowed his people to break the law and mislead the FISA court to get surveillance on a presidential candidate. If they thought it was a national security issue, why didn't they go to General Mike Flynn, who wasn't anything, and nobody thought he was guilty of anything? Why didn't they go to him and say, hey, the Ruskies are inside the house here, you guys be careful, and then tell his Justice Department, go after these son of a guns?
Yeah, but this is typical Republican deflection.
No,
Instead of going
it's
after,
no deflection.
instead
I'm
of going
asking
after
you, why
the Russians
we-
and Putin, we're going after Obama. Look,
Well,
the fact that
no, I'm saying, why didn't, if we knew about it?
Obama actually absolutely took it up with Putin. He had the intelligence department all over it. The fact of the matter is he couldn't get coordination from Mitch McConnell right before an election to do something about it. And we allowed the
wiretaps.
Oh gosh, okay, I know, but
Well, Trump, that's another thing, right? Trump said they tapped my phones. They said, no, he's crazy, he's a cuckoo. We don't even do wiretapping. And now 2 years later, lost in the washes, they were tapping his phones.
Well, they're actually going after Carter Page, and that's a whole other story.
But they got a 3-hop warrant, so they got Carter Page, and then whoever Carter Page spoke to, and then whoever they spoke to after that, they were able to go 3 people removed. So that was their in on Carter Page, but that opened the door to everyone. You know that.
Well, look, the fact of the matter is it started way back when with Manafort getting involved in the whole Ukraine situation. No, but you have to go way back when. Look, clearly there's ulterior motives here. That's why the president has released his tax returns yet, because I'm sure we're going to see
my
what the hell's in
goodness.
that.
Nothing to do with
Well, I
He's
think
talk-
it does. No, I
he's
think
talking
it
about
does.
us
No,
about
I think it
deflecting,
does. No, listen.
but he's back to
No,
tax
no.
returns, which are in like
It all goes back to
2000.
money, my friend.
15.
Here's what we need to do as a country: is look, focus on what's really good for America. We
Yep.
need to get back to the working class people. Get back to basics here, because we've really gotten away from it. We really do. I've got good friends of mine that are Democrats that don't talk to me now because I'm a Republican, because of the BS that goes on here. On both sides.
Okay.
If we can get back to basics, get back to what's really important here. Look, America was founded as a democracy. We're
No
a
doubt.
republic. They use a democratic mode of election. We need to get back to basics on
I don't know why they don't turn over the articles. We know the Senate's going to kick it. It's over, and let the people decide in 2020, just like they did.
Our president's not impeached right now. They're
That's right.
doing whatever they want to do, and it's all it is
Jimmy
it's just a
Toto,
sham.
Jimmy Toto, councilman from Somerset,
Summers Point.
Summers Point, New Jersey. and Mike Suleiman, the chairman of the Atlantic County Democratic Party. Thank you guys for some sane conversation. We may not agree on a lot, but we all agree that we love America. We're doing our own thing.
Absolutely.
I want to thank you for being here. You stay right there. We're going to come back right after this with more from Cuba Libre in Atlantic City, New Jersey for a special New Year's edition of Liquid Lunch.